You could leave life right now. That's what Marcus Aurelius wrote nearly 2,000 years ago, and it's incredible how such an old phrase can still cut through time and reach us like a quiet strike of truth. It isn't a threat. It isn't dark. It's a call to awareness, a reminder that every moment could be your last, and for that reason alone, every moment must be lived fully. Think about it. How many times have you lived as if the day would never end? How many words have you held back? A conversation, a hug, an apology, believing there would be more time. But time doesn't belong to us. Life doesn't warn us when it's about to change. That's why Stoic philosophy begins where modern anxiety ends, in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius lived in an empire that was falling apart, and yet he remained calm. While the world collapsed around him, he wrote, not to impress anyone, but to remind himself of who he wanted to be. And maybe that's the first step to living like a Stoic today, to remember. To remember that everything that happens is raw material for growth. To remember that what's beyond our control should never steal our peace. To remember that what truly matters fits in a few gestures, a few thoughts, a few acts. Before we go on, let me ask you something. If this reflection has already made you pause for a moment, write in the comments what this phrase, "You could leave life right now," and means to you. And if this message speaks to you, like the video and subscribe. Not out of habit, but as a choice to keep walking this path of reflection together. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome, yet he lived like a student. Every day he wrote what we now know as meditations. They weren't speeches, they were reminders. Notes from a man trying to be a little better than he was yesterday. He knew he couldn't change the world, but he could change himself. And when you change yourself, the world changes a little too. Power didn't seduce him. Wealth didn't distract him. Failure didn't destroy him. He understood early that control is an illusion, and that true strength lies in accepting what cannot be avoided with serenity. Maybe that's what we've forgotten in the 21st century. We chase control over our careers, our image, our time, even other people, but none of that is truly ours. And the more we try to hold on, the faster it slips away. Stoicism teaches the opposite. It doesn't tell you to escape. It teaches you to remain. Remain where your power is. In your thoughts, your attitude, your choices. The rest is wind. Marcus used to say that the obstacle is the way. He didn't say it as poetry. He said it as someone who had lived it. He lost friends, saw his people suffer, faced betrayal and plague, and still he refused to become bitter. He saw in every hardship an opportunity to practice a virtue. When something made him angry, he practiced patience. When he felt frustrated, he practiced temperance. When he was hurt, he practiced compassion. He turned chaos into a classroom and pain into discipline. Imagine if we lived like that today. How many arguments would fade if we simply chose to breathe before reacting? How many insults would lose their power if we remembered that no one can disturb our peace without our permission? How many days have you lost to small things that never really mattered? Stoicism doesn't promise a life without pain. It promises a mind that cannot be broken by pain. There's something deeply human about this philosophy. Marcus wasn't a saint. He was a man surrounded by temptation, doubt, and weakness. But what made him great was that he fought himself every day, not with violence, but with awareness. He knew that the most dangerous enemy wasn't outside, but within. Fear, anxiety, comparison, ego. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." No phrase could be more relevant to our time. We live reacting to everything, to news, to comments, to expectations. But what truly defines us is not what happens, but how we choose to respond to what happens. Think back to the last time you lost control. Something went wrong, someone said something. Life didn't go as planned. Now imagine if, in that exact moment, you had waited for 1 second before reacting. Just 1 second. That's where the difference lies, between chaos and calm. That tiny space between impulse and choice is where Stoicism lives. Marcus didn't see fate as a script already written. He saw it as soil, and we are the gardeners. We can't choose where we were planted, but we can choose what to grow. That's what he called amor fati, to love your fate. Not to endure it, not to resign yourself to it, but to love it, to accept what comes as part of what will shape you. That's not resignation, and it's wisdom. Resisting the inevitable only multiplies suffering. Acceptance, on the other hand, brings clarity. When something bad happens, the Stoic doesn't ask, "Why me?" He asks, how can I use this? It's a way of living that turns every fall into a step forward. Stoicism doesn't ask you to be cold or indifferent. It asks you to feel it but not drown. To love, but not lose yourself. To act, but not need to win. That was Marcus Aurelius's true strength, remaining human even in chaos. He commanded armies and wrote about compassion. He ruled empires and reflected on humility. He faced plagues and still spoke of inner peace. In a world of extremes, he was balance. And that's exactly what our world has lost. Balance. We live between rush and fear, between noise and emptiness, between desire and guilt. Stoicism offers the middle ground, the quiet space where the soul breathes. Maybe you're wondering, how can anyone live like that today? That's the beauty of Stoicism. It doesn't ask you to escape the world. It asks you to awaken within it. You don't have to deny life. You just have to stop fighting against what is. Act without expecting reward. Speak without needing to be right. Do good without needing to be seen. Live with awareness. Serenity doesn't come from control. It comes from conscious surrender. And that surrender is an art. The art of letting the world be what it is, while you remain who you are. That's the essence of living like a Stoic. And if this message has made you reflect, share it with someone who might need to hear it today. It might be the reminder they've been waiting for. Marcus Aurelius once said that no one is unhappy because of others, only because of what they believe about others. And that changes everything, because once you realize that your peace depends on your thoughts, not on the world, you discover that you are free, not free to control, but free to choose. And that inner freedom, no one can take away. Stoicism teaches that life is a journey toward mastering oneself. And the longer we live, the clearer it becomes that this is the only mastery that truly matters. Because what good is conquering the world if you remain a stranger within your own mind? Modern man has built cities, crossed oceans, reached the stars, yet still struggles to find peace within. That's why the words of Marcus Aurelius still echo today. Because at the core, nothing has changed. The world evolves, but the heart of humanity stays the same, fragile, fearful, and searching for meaning in the noise. He once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Everything you feed your mind becomes part of who you are. If you feed it fear, you harvest uncertainty. If you feed it gratitude, you harvest calm." The outer world mirrors the inner one. And when you start tending to your inner garden, slowly, everything outside begins to bloom differently. Marcus knew he couldn't change people, fate, or time, but he could change himself. And in doing so, he discovered freedom. That's the highest victory. To be free, not because life is easy, but because your peace no longer depends on it. Today, most of us live trying to prove something, chasing approval, success, attention. We perform constantly, like actors on a stage, afraid of forgetting our lines, afraid of not being enough. But Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. You don't need applause. You need silence. You don't need validation. You need clarity. Wisdom is walking lightly, not carrying the weight of other people's opinions. How many times have you felt the need to be more, to have more, to show more? That's the poison of comparison. Even surrounded by power, Marcus never compared himself. He knew every person fights invisible battles, and comparing paths is like comparing mountains. Each has its own shape, height, and weather. He believed that the role of a human being is to act with dignity, even when no one is watching, to do what's right without needing reward, to work calmly, to love without expectation, to live with purpose. That's the hard part, doing good without needing to be seen. In a world that trades everything for attention, a Stoic seeks depth, not display, because sleeping peacefully is worth more than waking up applauded. To Marcus, life was like a river. You can't stop the water, you can only learn to flow with it. Fighting the current only causes pain, but when you move with it, even the turbulence becomes part of your rhythm. Acceptance isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Trusting isn't surrender, it's strength in disguise. He also spoke about mortality, memento mori. Remember that you could die right now. But for Marcus, that was not a dark thought. It was a wake-up call. The awareness of death is what gives life its meaning. Knowing time is short makes every gesture sacred. Every word, every breath. Death, in truth, is what gives life its brilliance. That's why the Stoics didn't fear it. They honored it. because living is dying a little every day, and choosing to grow anyway. Marcus Aurelius lived through wars, plagues, betrayals, and loss, and yet he died in peace, faithful to himself, still writing until the end. He didn't leave monuments, he left thoughts. And it's astonishing how words carved into time can still heal wounds that belong to the present. Because truth, when born from experience, never ages, it only changes its voice. If Marcus were alive today, he might not wear a robe or a crown. He might just be a quiet man, sitting in a cafe watching people rush past, wondering why everyone is running but no one seems to know where. And perhaps he'd say what he once wrote: "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. While you have life, while it is possible, be good. Be good." So simple, yet so hard. We've become so obsessed with winning that we've forgotten how to live. That's when Stoicism stops being philosophy and becomes a way of being. To live like a Stoic isn't to withdraw from the world. It's to participate in it with awareness, to be present without being a prisoner of the present, to feel without losing yourself, to love without owning, to act without expecting, to accept fate, and still act with courage. A Stoic's strength doesn't come from conquering chaos, but from not letting chaos conquer him. And that kind of strength doesn't make noise. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need control. It simply remains. You don't need to be an emperor to live this way. All you need is one moment of clarity. 1 second where you choose to understand instead of react. 1 breath where you decide not to complain but to face. 1 instant where you replace blame with understanding. And in that second, everything changes. Because the world doesn't change when others change. It changes when you do. Maybe that's the deepest lesson Marcus Aurelius left us. To live wisely isn't to have all the answers. It's to ask the right questions. What is within my control? What truly matters? What deserves my time, my energy, my heart? Everything else is noise. And when you learn to listen beyond the noise, you find peace where others only see confusion. Stoicism isn't an escape. It's a return to yourself, to what has always been there but was buried beneath distraction. It's a reunion with calm, with presence, with simplicity. And when you live like that, the world stops being a battlefield and becomes a classroom. If this reflection touched you, like the video and share what stayed with you. Maybe it was a phrase, maybe a single idea. Share it with someone who needs to hear this, someone trying to find their center again. And if you want more reflections like this, subscribe. Because here philosophy finds its voice and silence finds its meaning. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So think clearly, act calmly, live presently. Time is short, but meaning can last forever. You could leave life right now. So live it with the serenity and dignity of someone who truly understands the value of each passing moment. And perhaps, just perhaps, that's the real power of living like a Stoic in the modern world.